and today I'm going in with one of my favorite color schemes, which is purple. But yeah, I finally have the time to do my makeup. Thank God. Technically I had a day off yesterday, but I ended up doing a double with my parents because they have a food truck and I need money for New York. I mean, I don't need any money for New York. I'm set. But I'm also not going to say no to extra money. So, but no, it's Saturday. It's Saturday. I actually slept in for the first time in like 5 months. To be fair, I was up until 1, and then I was up for like an hour and a half at like 4. And then I woke up officially at 10. So sleeping is a stretch, but I wasn't up at 7 o'clock like I usually am, and that's what matters. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to be using the Beauty Bay Midnight 42 color palette. And this is going to be the only palette that I'm using. I am not busting out multiple palettes for multiple shadows. We're staying with this bad boy. This looks so much more cool toned than it actually is. I can fix it. I'm going to start off with some of the shade Iris. And need a mirror, but I'm going to start with some of the shade Iris, and I'm just going to start to pat that on the outer corner. This is like a deeper, slightly more cool toned purple, but I will blend out. I just want kind of the shape and the colors down right now. But yeah, I did a 12-hour day yesterday. Luckily it wasn't super hot because it's a food truck, so we don't get like proper air conditioning, and it's a metal box. When it's hot in there. But it was like high 60s, low 70s yesterday, so I was comfortably in yoga pants. It was beautiful, fantastic, 10 out of 10. It was a long day, but it was a 12.5-hour shift, so. And then I'm going to take some of the shade Lavender, and I'm just going to use that to blend out. I also made over $200 in tips yesterday, so I also really can't complain. So, because the first job we did was a catering job, so there's a tip on that no matter what. Whether they decide to add to the tip or not, there is at least a minimum tip. And then I made, I want to say it was at least 70 on-card tips for the second shift, and I walked home with 30 in cash. So, and that's after splitting it with somebody, my mother, but still, I'll take what I can get. I don't know why I chose this palette. I don't really like it that much. I'm doing my best to blend out that deeper shade because it's looking a little splotchy, I'm not gonna lie. I am gathering all my things so I can record my birthday look probably tomorrow. Why does this look like this? This isn't going well. I'm gonna go back in with some of the shade Iris and kind of place it down where it was originally. This is not going very well. I don't know. What is on my brush? Is that fake blood? How? This is not going well. This is really, really not going well. I'm taking some of the shade Lavender and Tranquil again on a smaller brush than I usually would to see if I can get it blended better than I could with the big fluffy brush. I forgot. I love the tones in this palette, but I don't really like the formula in this palette. Which is funny because the Bright Mattes palette that I have is so much easier to work with. So I don't know where the logic with that one is. Alright, now that's looking a little better. We just need a little bit more focus. I'm still taking some of Tranquil on a big fluffy brush and just using that to kind of blend out the edges. It's just, I need something down. And then, surprise, surprise, I'm going to take some of the shade Mist, which is this little pale blue, and I'm just going to put that under my brow because I like how it looks these days, like a lot. And it just gives a little extra something something to the look, you know? So, just right along, I'm going to pat and kind of stamp that very gently. That way it kind of blends itself into the purple. And it's not an overly pigmented blue, so it's not going to be too out of place. Like, look at that. And then I'm just going to go back in with that original brush. And just, again, just to get it 100%. And then I'm taking one of the brushes from before and just going under my eyes a little. Just a little. I'm not doing an too in-depth under eye thing, it's just I need something there. Otherwise it looks a little weird. I've also had something in my eye for the past like day and a half and it will not come out. So that's not great. And then just with my finger, I'm going to take some of this shade called Gleam, which is like this gorgeous, like cool toned, not quite periwinkle shade, but still. And I'm just going to kind of carefully pat this because I should have used a glitter glue and I didn't. So I just don't want it to look too chunky, which it kind of does on this eye. But I can fix that. Like, these are very pretty shimmers, they're just not what I usually want in a shimmer. Like, I want something a little shifty, a little, like, in your face and wet looking. But this will work. Again, not my favorite, but... And I actually think I'm going to take some of that Mist shade that I had used on my brow bone and place a little right under my eye and right along my lower lash line. That way I can incorporate the blue a little more and I'll have something entirely under my eye. I also need to sneeze so badly. I'm also not looking forward to finding a pair of lashes for this look. Also, I know this may seem like a lot of eyeshadow underneath with like how much I'm pressing, but like I said, this isn't an overly pigmented blue, and I didn't put that much concealer right under my eyes. I usually stop right about here, so I just want to make sure like it will stick. And I'm going on a little flat edged brush, I'm taking some of that original shade Iris, and since it's so blended out, I can actually do my little smudgy liner that I usually do with the same shade. So, and if need be, there is a black in this palette, so I can deepen it up just a little bit. Again, I like doing this that way. There's a little bit of oomph to the eyes. And it's not so flat looking. And I don't think I'm gonna put mascara on my lower lashes today, just because that blue is so light. And when I do that, it kind of like overpowers it a little. So I don't want to take away from it too much. Like if I do any, it will be like right here where that like purple is, but not in the front of my lashes. And I'm just going to stamp a little kind of like under my lashes in tight line, because I don't want to bring it too far and like mess with it, but I want a little, just a little. Kind of stopping it where the shimmer starts. And that's it for my eyes. I need to go find a pair of lashes. That's gonna be fun. I hate finding lashes for a look. But I'll be back in a second. Alright, hi, I'm back with some lashes on. I did procrastinate a little too long. Like, I procrastinated a very long time. But I'm back, I have lashes. I'm finishing this look one way or another because I want to get enough makeup looks done by the 4th of July, so I don't need to post so I don't need to film until I get back from New York. But, ow. Gonna move on to the base. This is from Bubble. This is the Cosmic Silk Hydrating Milky Toner. I really love this stuff. It's very hydrating, very milky. Wild, it's in the name, I know. You do have to be careful with the packaging and just kind of let it sit for a minute before twisting it back down. Otherwise, it's gonna like squirt out of the packaging, and that's kind of gross. But it feels nice on the skin, and it's what my skin needs. It's coming in my bag actually for my trip. And I'm also 100% booking another trip. I know I said I was gonna wait until after this trip to even decide if I want to go back, but hotels are really cheap for next June. So if I go like the first week or two, then theoretically I can also, you know, it's not gonna be as hot as it is now. So, and then this is from Glow Recipe. This is the Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops, and I can't get a good grip on these because my hands are already a little wet from skincare, so it's slipping out here. But I'm gonna do a slightly more hydrating skin prep just because my foundation and concealer are a little more on the matte side, so this way I don't look dry and cakey, but I'm not too hydrated to the point that I'm gonna need to set my face. I do think things through sometimes, and I can only imagine how long I'm gonna need to put my hair in rollers, because I washed my hair last night and they dried kind of weird, and they've been up here for like 2 hours because I have been procrastinating a lot with my makeup today, but I have to do it, so say lovey. This is currently covered in foundation, but this is from Mob Beauty. This is their cream ceramide foundation, I think it's called, in the shade Neutral 20. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this Wild, I know, and gonna go in. I want to try more. I'm actually going in with a different side. I actually want to try more stuff from them, but they're one of the brands that's mostly online besides the fact that they're at Credo Beauty. Credo. And there's one in Boston, but there's no one ever there, and I feel so like weird when I'm there, and then they're always asking me if I need help, and then I just like, it is a minuscule storefront on Newbury Street, and I try to avoid Newbury Street at all costs because it's evil and awful and full of tourists, and they don't know how to walk, and then it bothers me, and I'm just like, I go to Back Bay a lot, like the general area, because that's where my nail place is. So I'll go there. But I'm like, I think the last time I went to Newbury Street, it was like I had like a nail appointment on a Monday because I was working on the Sunday. So, you know, it was nice, it was quiet. But since my nail appointments are usually on Sundays, and that's usually one of my only days off, I try not to go there. And my blush and bronzer are going to be a little more matte too, so hopefully that will kind of settle things down. And then I'm going to take the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer in the shade Royal Icing 1.1N. Also, I just realized that this is like such like a wintry look because it's a cool toned purple with, you know, an icy shimmer and like blue. And it's July. Is it July? No, it's June. It's still June. It's like one of the last days of June, but it's still June for now. I got so concerned for a second. I'm like, where has the time gone? But on Friday, I will start dog sitting. And I cannot wait because that dog and I are best friends. I should also probably go out tomorrow and get my dog food, because she has enough for now, but I can guarantee she's gonna run out like a few days before I leave for New York, and I'm working up until I leave, so I'm not gonna have the time to go. So I should probably go down to like Stop and Shop tomorrow and get her some food, and then I can have snacks and stuff, because I have like nothing that I can like readily eat or even just throw together for like a late meal, so that might be a good idea too. Alright, and we are moving on to cheeks. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. This is the shade Fair. I like this, but this leaks so much. Like, this is closed. It's been closed. And yet there's so, that much, like, out of the packaging. I'm gonna very carefully try to blend this out. Again. Jesus Christ. I can go over with the foundation brush. This is fine. Everything's fine. Nothing is frickin' fine. Again, I like the formula. I like the color. I hate the packaging. Like I said, I'm gonna need to like clean up right here. But like, why? Why? Again, I can fix this. Everything's fine. I thought that was bronzer on my forehead for a second, and I was so confused. But I'm taking a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury concealer. Not Charlotte Tilbury. Huda Beauty concealer. I did wipe a bunch off because this packaging also leaks. And this is also going to make me look extra drag queeny today, but say lovey. It's still June while I film this, so tried. I'm gonna blend out with the fluffy side of my Makeup by Maya brush that I used earlier. Yeah, it's just, I can't live like this. And I can just kind of go back in with my brush with whatever's left over and just kind of reinforce. See? Much better. And I'm taking some of the Made by Mitchell liquid blusher in a Shy Boy. I love this color so much. I'm not the biggest fan of the formula, but when the color's like this, I will make do. And I'm putting this on the back of my hand and blending out because this is a pretty matte formula and it dries very quickly. So we work in sections, and with definitely a bigger brush. And again, I will probably need to go back with my foundation brush. But again, it's because this, again, love this color. Formula's not my favorite. And I know I could like mix this in with a bit of my like Glow Recipe drops, but I don't want like a dewy blush all the time. So little bit of leftover concealer or foundation will clean that right up. But I am gonna just put a little more up here because that's where I like most of my blush to be concentrated anyways. And then this is from Rare Beauty. This is the, I don't want to say Silky Touch, it's the powder highlighter, and then this is in the shade Enlighten. And even though I don't love white highlighters, I feel like it just goes best with this color scheme. White highlighter for kind of like a cool toned, frosty-ish eye. Yeah, it's just, I feel like they're just not my favorite. They look fine, it's just, I feel like they look frosty, and if they look frosty on me, that's a little concerning. I am just going to put a little on my lids to kind of brighten up the eye a little. And a little on the upper lip where the Cupid's bow is, because I like it. And you can't stop me. If you want to stop me, you have to come and do my makeup yourself. That's just the rules. Moving on to lips, this is from Makeup Forever. This is the Artist Color Pencil in the shade Anywhere Caffeine. I very may well just give up on this one soon. I know I say that literally every time I use this, but it's to the point that the cap is almost the length of this. So sooner rather than later, especially because I need to sharpen this. I should do it now, but I'm gonna need to do it before I do my makeup with this again, so. And it's a little harder to use this now, especially with nails. So, like I said, I have a new one. I've had a new one. And this has just lasted longer than I thought it would. So, oops. And just blend it out. And then last but not least, I'm going to go in with my favorite gloss. This is from Half Magic. This is the Magic Drip Glitter Lip Gloss in the shade VHS Vixen. This beautiful, fantastic love of my life, oh yeah, was part of the Maxine collab they did was it last year? I think it was, because it came out 4th of July. Either way, whatever. Was for the Maxine movie. Oh yeah. And this is my favorite gloss shade ever. I'm gonna be so honest here. Except it was only a kit, and again, limited edition because it was a collab. So I don't know what Half Magic needs to do. If they need to sell this under a different name for copyright reasons. But I need this released again. Or just send me all the ones you have and I'll just keep a hoard of them in my room. That works for me too. But like it's the prettiest shade and I love her. And like it looks scary in the tube, but like she's beautiful and stunning. And there's like little blue purple reflex and she's fantastic. But I need to go not put on lashes. I need to go fix my bangs and hopefully I will be right back. Alright, and this is the finished look. My bangs, I had a roller in them for like 5-10 minutes and something's not right. I think I cut them weird the other day. But yeah, this is the finished look. I like it. And I know I say this every time, but to be fair, I also say this every time. If I didn't like how my eyeshadow was looking that much, I would have either not continued this video or completely restarted. So, but I feel like I'm kind of giving like hydrangea. I saw so many pretty hydrangeas on my ride yesterday. Because we drove to Manchester and so we passed a lot of places. Like houses and things. And there's a place with a gorgeous hydrangea plant and they were so blue and purple and vibrant and it was beautiful. So, the eyes are given hydrangeas. But yeah, this is the finished look.